Hey everyone, 大家好, it's Jake here from Skritter. Today's video is how to get back from a break and how to deal with a pesky review queue that might be very large. And in fact, this video today comes from a forum post that came up on the Skritter forum where a user was wondering just this. Hey, they've taken a break, they have a big queue, what the heck are they supposed to do now? Well, it's bad for SRS, and it's bad for you. The cards are sitting there screaming, hey, I'm due, it's time for me to be studied. And you're like, yeah, whatever, I'll get to you tomorrow. And the longer that goes on and on and on, the more likely it is that you're gonna come back and struggle to remember the things that you were studying before. Second, if you have a large review queue, that also means that you probably have some bad habits. Either you were overstudying at one point because you were being really ambitious, or you took a break and you're coming back. Regardless, you are now drowning in a pool of flashcards. Anyways, I think we've all been there before, and it's okay. But this can cause a large buildup of things that you need to be studying. Maybe it's like a to-do list as well, right? You're just tasks to start building up and building up and building up, and you kind of start to get a little overwhelmed. And it's easier to do other things than it is to do the one thing that you probably should be doing every single day. Sometimes you might have a large queue due because of the tool that you're using to study. Let's say you're using Skritter or Anki or Memrise, and you were studying a lot. You had Chinese classes, you had a one-on-one tutor, you just had more free time. During those times, you're gonna spend more time studying, and you're gonna be more ambitious every single day. You're meeting your learning goals, you're adding new items, and it's a lot of fun. But if you don't keep this up, then the queue is slowly gonna build. All right, enough with the doom and gloom. How do we fix this problem? Rather than giving up, let's use this as an opportunity to kind of reset our progress. And what I mean by that is potentially looking into some of the things that you're studying and asking yourself a hard question. Do I really need to study this anymore? Maybe you have decks or study lists that are from classes that you took a long time ago. Maybe they're from a textbook that you read a long time ago. Maybe they're from a book that you read a long time ago. And you need to really ask yourself, is this something that I need to be studying today? Is it super useful? I'm gonna pose a question to you. How often do you quote from weird books that you read in the past in your native language when you find a weird word that you encounter? Probably not that often, right? So why are you doing this to yourself when you're studying a new language? Find something, write it down, maybe you think it's interesting, make a mental note, and then move on. You don't need to take everything and put it into your queue. But if you have already done that, this is a great opportunity to remove some of those things from study for once and for all. The second option you have, and this one is a little bit specific to Skritter, but maybe it applies to some other tools as well, and that's to nuke your account. Just start over. You really have to ask yourself when you're doing this, is this something that I want to do? And I think there's a couple scenarios where this might make the most sense. If you took a long break and you haven't been studying a language for a really long time, things are probably gonna be really fuzzy. You're probably gonna be really frustrated at some of the stuff that you're seeing when you're studying every single day. If that is the case, or maybe you haven't made that much progress the first time you started, it might be a good idea to just start over and start fresh. This is genuinely a viable option. Honestly though, I really want you to use your best judgment here. Speaking from my own experience as someone who has kind of cleared their queue and nuked their account after I got out of grad school, I kind of deeply regret it. It's something that I really wish I would have just kind of culled through my list a little bit more and been more meticulous about the things I really want to study rather than starting over from scratch. That brings us to option number 3, breaking things down into smaller goals. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and building up new healthy habits takes time. There's no reason to try and tackle a 3,000 card queue in a single day. It's just not gonna happen. And honestly, you're just gonna overwhelm yourself like a week or two down the road anyways. So take it slow, chill out. It's totally okay, and you will get through this. If you're choosing option 3, which I definitely think is the most viable option, then there's a couple different things that you can do to make Skritter work for you, or other systems similar to Skritter. One of the things that you should probably do at this point is stop adding new words. Maybe this isn't a practical thing if you're in classes and you have to be studying for new tingxie or new tests or whatever, but if you have the option to stop learning new things, it's probably good. Take a little bit of a break, focus on the things that you have in your queue and just work through them. There are going to be tons of things that you've probably forgotten over time because you weren't studying regularly, and use those as opportunities to relearn them efficiently and without too much stress of trying to add a bunch more stuff during the day. In the new Skritter mobile apps, this is super easy. You just don't need to go into the decks and press the learn button. One of the other things that you can do is the time box. And this is very similar to what I was saying about incremental goals, but setting yourself with a 5-minute limit per session is a really great way to just start chipping away at a large queue. You're not thinking about the larger numbers, you're focusing on the small time, and you're giving yourself that chance of success. If you're studying on the new Skritter app, this is a lot easier. We have a couple different study modes, and some of them are really conducive to this kind of goal-oriented studying. You can use continuous study mode, which actually doesn't even have a do count, it just shows you a timer, which is great for time boxing. Or you can do the do card review, and you can actually limit the amount of cards that you're seeing in a given session or activity. So if you have a huge queue, rather than looking at that number and getting all bent out of shape about it, you can set your goal a lot more realistically, something like 20 cards, 50 cards, 100 cards, and it's gonna make that overall queue seem a lot more manageable, and you're gonna be able to get through it without a lot of stress. That's all for now. If you have any tips or tricks on clearing out a large due queue or coming back from a break after a long period of no studying, please be sure to let us know in the comments below. Also, take an opportunity to let us know what kind of videos you want to see from the channel. We're super excited for 2020. We've got a lot of things planned, but ultimately we want to help you study Chinese and make it fun and engaging and interesting. So if there's something you want to hear about, be sure to let us know below. And finally, if you haven't done so already, be sure to check out Skritter and support our channel. We have a fantastic application. There's a new guest experience that you can get on iOS and Android. We've got a website. There's a link in the description below that offers you a super deep discount if you use it when you sign up for your account. And also be sure to check out our Instagram. We've got daily flashcards, idioms, Skritter study tips, Chinese study tips, and so much more. 如果你喜欢我们的影片，欢迎按赞、订阅、分享，来支持我们。下次见，拜拜。